If you've been in the meme coin game long enough, you'll know that it is a nightmare to make a decent amount of money, and even if you did, you would lose it on the next coin because of a rug pull. What if I were to tell you there is an easy method that can help you stack the cash so high that you'll be hurting your neck to look at the top? Here is my Phantom wallet. I've nearly accrued $900,000 using this very simple method. Stick around and I'll show you how it works. This video is for educational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. Your capital is still at risk. I'm just here to explain how the process works. Well, folks, we're coming to the point now where I'm going to show you this method that has gotten me all this money. First of all, let's have another look at one of these charts. Okay, now we've all seen a story like this. It always unfolds, you know, in a manner of ways, but there's a few archetypes. So let's take a look at this one here. We've got this initial massive boost on this coin, and I reckon that the person who has used this coin, or has developed it, sorry, has come up with a similar method to something that we're going to use, you know, later, because there is a really big unnatural kick up over the course of this 1 hour on this bar, right? And then immediately it tapers off. So, you know, this is something where you'd be like, wow, great, my coin has gone through the roof, and then it immediately crashes off. Now, we've got something that's going to make ours a little bit more consistent in terms of, you know, how it develops. And while, you know, our P&Ls are going to look much better than this, you can see that this guy's done a pretty good job. But as you can see there, there's quite a lot in the red there, you know, so we want to make sure our P&Ls, when we look at them, it's just all green, clean sailing. That's what we want. And the way I have managed to learn how to dev coins using createcoin.fun means we can make much more consistent cash. Okay, so we are going to launch our own coin on Solana with no coding required. That's the key thing. There's no coding required. Okay, you don't need to learn any coding language to get this going. You just need to have the ability to click a few buttons, and I think we can all do that because you've managed to get to this video. So I would assume that would mean you're pretty good at clicking buttons on your computer. If not, you have got something to worry about. So let's take a quick look at the pump market. Okay, now pump, you know, used to be pretty good back in the day, but now everyone's on pump, and because everyone's on pump, it means that the market caps are really low because all that cash that's going through pump is being spread over hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of different shit coins. And every time you would launch one, then at least 10,000 have launched alongside you, so you're going to get lost in all that noise. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my axiom over to dynamic, which shows us the Meteora market. Now, this market is a lot better. There are less coins on there, which means the market caps have a chance to grow higher. As well as that, Meteora, there are less fees involved with transactions as well, which means the coins get more action. And that is why these market caps are so huge, some in the billions, several in the hundreds of millions, rather. Now, back to Create Coin. What we're going to do here is, you can see we have here is about $100 in the Phantom wallet. That's what we need. Okay, so roughly around $100, and then we're going to connect our wallet there. If it's connected on your browser, Create Coin will detect it, and you can just click 2 buttons and you'll be connected up, no problem. Now, if I were to dev a coin the original way, what I would do is I would start by coming up with a name, coming up with a symbol, and then having an image and making up a cool narrative, and then doing some online marketing and things like that, trying to get people invested in the coin initially. That takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and also most of the time a lot of money, and then I'll end up making nothing. Instead, we are going to hit copy trending. Now, this is a tool that createcoin.fun has, where you can take a look at some of the coins that are doing really well on pump, and then you can migrate them over to Meteora. So on here, you've got names, you've got market caps, and you've got when they were last paired. So you can use this information to make the best decision that you think in terms of good coins. So you might want one that was recently paired, because then maybe there's still some hype around it, or you might want one that hasn't been paired in a while because, oh, maybe people will be like, oh, I remember that coin went wild, so let's click on that coin again. Okay, it's kind of up to you. All of these are going to be good choices because they're all trending on pump, which means they all have that hype existing around them already. Okay, so all we need to do is find a coin that we like the look of, and then we are going to copy over. You can refresh if you're not happy with the selection. Let's have a look. This Kipsy one looks quite good, so let's copy that one there. I know the market cap's not massively high, but for the amount of time we're going to be running this, it's not going to make much difference. So let's proceed with this anyway. It will initially block the request. This is a normal part of this process. Just make sure you click through these. You've got to confirm and confirm again, tick this box, etc. This is a normal part of the process. I have to do this every single time when I set one of these up for the video, so you will have to do it as well. Okay, so now we've got our token, we've made it. So what we need to do is create our liquidity pool, and the way we do that is we just simply put a little bit of our soul, and that's why we need some of that money in the bank, into the coin, and then that is what gets us you know, onto the market. So we've got a few details here like the amount of tokens, etc., but we don't need to worry about any of that. All we need to change is the amount of soul. We need to change that from a 0 to a 0.1. 0.2. Now you can put different amounts in, you can put as high as 1, you can put 0.1, you can do what you like, but 0.2 for me seems to be the sweet spot where I make the most money. If you go higher, you're worrying a bit more about things like your overhead and stuff, so you won't make as much profit, and then lower, it means there won't be as much initial hype around the coin because it's not worth as much. So we are going to click confirm on that transaction and get our SOL into the coin, and we are live. We are on the market and ready to go. So here's a bunch of details here, so you can see we've got the pool, we've got the amount of SOL, we've got the tokens, and the value run roughly at $15.53. The next thing we are going to do, and this is a crucial part of the process, we are going to click this lightning bolt button here. What this does is it allows us to boost our token just for the low price of 0.25 SOL. Okay, so we are going to boost this token on Dex Screener for 1 hour, and when we do, all of those bots and all of those trend chasers are going to see our coin before anyone else's, and they are going to buy. That's what's going to give us that massive kick up, like I showed you earlier on that chart, the massive kick up right at the start that will put our coin on the map, and then everything else snowballs from there. So we're going to hit boost, we're going to pay the 0.25, we confirm the transaction. Now once we've done that, I will take a quick look onto Dex Screener. We'll run this for a not particularly long period of time, however long I fancy, and then we'll see the results as they come in. Okay, already liquidity at $838, that's fantastic. Market cap already at 1.1, 2.4. I think the estimated market cap was 2.5, so we'll see if we can manage to beat it. Okay, so we'll see how that goes. So anyway, you can see there is loads of activity on this coin already, and it's only just been launched. Okay, and if you were trying to do that yourself with your own you know, marketing behind you, it probably wouldn't pan out like this. Now I make money on these videos, and every time I do, I give away half to one of the people who like, subscribe, and leave a comment. So please make sure you do, and then you can win half of what I make on this video, which we will see later on. Now let's take a quick look here. 4.4 on our market cap. We have well exceeded that estimation. So I think that's ran for long enough now, and I'm back on createcoin.fun, and what we're going to do is we're going to hit a quick refresh on here, and then we are going to see, you know, how much money our estimated value is now that it has gone up. So let's see, 1.4k. guys, we have nearly 100x'd our coin. That is insane, and I have not even ran this for like more than 1 hour. So here we go. We are going to remove 100% of that liquidity with that minus button. We will remove that liquidity and put it straight into our pocket. We are, yes, I know we are pulling the rug, but if everyone else is willing to do it to us, we should do it to them. Okay, and if you're willing to do it, you're willing to make some money. Let's have a look at the potential prize pool. Half of $1,402, guys. Like, favorite, subscribe, and make sure you try this method out yourselves.